In a dramatic turn of events, the Supreme Court has delivered a devastating blow to Labour Party leader Keir Starmer, ruling that he must vacate parliamentary premises following explosive revelations about his alleged affairs with multiple female MPs. This shocking decision has sent ripples through British politics, marking a pivotal and highly charged moment in Starmer's already turbulent leadership. Starmer, who has been grappling with increasing pressure and mounting criticism for months, now faces a new and highly damaging chapter in his political career. A leadership that has teetered on the brink for some time, Starmer has seen his popularity decline sharply, both within his own party and among the general public. His policies, once hailed as a beacon of hope for Britain's future, have instead sparked widespread discontent across the political spectrum, leaving Starmer with a fractured support base. If you've been watching our content but haven't subscribed yet, you're not alone. Over 98% of our viewers haven't subscribed. If you want to stay updated with the latest news in a clear and simple way, now's the perfect time to subscribe. By subscribing, you'll be among the first to know about all the new updates. The Supreme Court's ruling, however, is far more than a legal technicality. It strikes directly at the very core of Starmer's credibility and reveals the deep fractures within his government. This decision has come at a time when his leadership was already on shaky ground, with Labour's approval ratings plummeting and growing public skepticism about his ability to lead. Key policy decisions, including his £6 billion welfare cuts and controversial plans to dismantle NHS England, have not only left a significant portion of his traditional support base disillusioned but have also caused public backlash that continues to grow. Now, with his personal integrity under intense scrutiny, the political fallout could prove to be catastrophic for his leadership, with some even suggesting that this may mark the beginning of the end for Starmer's political career. How did we get here? The Supreme Court's verdict explained. The Supreme Court's ruling comes after months of behind-the-scenes speculation and growing uncertainty. While the full details of the case remain classified under legal restrictions, sources close to the matter suggest that the decision is deeply tied to Starmer's alleged misconduct and ethical breaches within Parliament. Reports have surfaced that multiple female MPs have come forward with serious accusations of inappropriate conduct on Starmer's part, and if these allegations are proven true, they could spell the definitive end to his political career. The scandal has created an immediate and furious backlash within the Labour Party, with senior figures now calling for Starmer to step down. Some insiders have revealed that Labour's deputy leader, Angela Rayner, has privately expressed her deep frustration, fearing that Starmer's increasingly embattled leadership is dragging the party into disrepute. Could this be the beginning of an internal Labour revolt that further threatens the party's unity and future? Public trust in freefall, a leadership crisis unfolds. Starmer's political troubles extend far beyond the legal battle that has now engulfed him. His approval ratings have dropped at an alarming rate, falling faster than any prime minister in modern British history. The latest YouGov poll places Starmer's net approval rating at a dismal -7, a figure even lower than that of Boris Johnson at the same point in his premiership. For a leader who positioned himself as the anti-Boris, the stark contrast between his initial promise and the public's current perception is a devastating blow. Several key factors have contributed to this rapid decline in public support, but three critical betrayals by Starmer stand out. First, before the general election, Starmer vowed to protect the most vulnerable in society and promised to end austerity policies. However, his decision to slash £6 billion from welfare spending has shattered that promise. Nearly 1 million disabled people are now at risk of losing their personal independence payments, PIP, which would push them further into poverty and make essential care services unaffordable. Disability charities have widely condemned these cuts as disastrous for vulnerable individuals, and several Labour MPs have openly rebelled against the decision, further undermining Starmer's position. Second, in a move that left both health professionals and the public in disbelief, Starmer announced plans to dismantle NHS England. This announcement has been met with widespread criticism and has even led to the resignation of 3 senior NHS board members, who accused the government of making reckless decisions without a coherent or workable plan. While Starmer claims that this controversial move will free up resources for nurses and help reduce waiting times, many critics argue that it is nothing more than a political distraction, designed to divert attention away from his growing list of failures. Third, Starmer's leadership has been riddled with internal divisions from the outset. Reports of cabinet infighting and ministerial disagreements have surfaced almost immediately after his election, with key ministers contradicting one another on major policy decisions. His government appears increasingly directionless, with no clear economic or social vision for the future of Britain. As his approval ratings continue to plummet, many Labour MPs are now whispering about the possibility of a leadership challenge, an idea that seemed unthinkable just a few months ago. The Supreme Court ruling, a political earthquake. The Supreme Court's decision may very well be the final nail in the coffin for Starmer's leadership. Legal experts have suggested that while the ruling is unprecedented in its nature, it reflects the gravity of the allegations against him. Some are speculating that Starmer could face further legal consequences if the investigation reveals additional evidence of misconduct. Meanwhile, opposition parties have wasted no time in seizing the opportunity to call for Starmer's immediate resignation. Senior figures within the Conservative Party have branded his leadership as untenable, and they are now pushing for his swift removal from office. Even within the Labour Party, there is growing concern that Starmer's continued leadership could do irreparable damage to the party's electoral prospects. With the public losing faith in his ability to lead, the party's standing in the polls continues to decline, and many fear that his scandals and missteps will prevent Labour from regaining power in the next election. Some insiders have suggested that it may be time for Starmer to step aside and make way for a new generation of leadership that could help rebuild the party's credibility and restore public trust. What happens next? The road ahead for Labour. As Starmer's political future hangs in the balance, the road ahead for Labour is uncertain. If he remains in power, it is likely that his leadership will continue to be scrutinized and further erode public trust in the party. A leadership challenge could be on the horizon, as key figures within Labour's ranks seek to take control and restore the party to its former strength. However, it is unclear who would take over from Starmer, and whether a new leader could succeed in rebuilding Labour's reputation and regaining voter confidence. What is certain, however, is that this is a defining moment in British politics. The outcome of this crisis could shape the future of Labour for years to come, with Starmer's leadership now at a crossroads. Will he manage to survive the political storm and restore his position, or will this be the beginning of the end for his political career? Only time will tell, but the implications of the Supreme Court ruling are far-reaching, and its impact on British politics is set to unfold in the coming weeks and months. Credibility in tatters, Labour faces an existential crisis. If Keir Starmer's leadership collapses, the Labour Party will face an unprecedented existential crisis. The party will be forced to scramble for a replacement who can repair the significant damage caused by his leadership failures, especially with the next general election looming on the horizon. Several potential contenders are already emerging as possible successors to Starmer, though each comes with their own set of challenges. Among the most prominent names is Angela Rayner, the current deputy leader, who is known for her strong stance on social justice and her ability to connect with working-class voters. However, her close association with Starmer could be a liability, as many within the party may view her as too closely tied to his increasingly unpopular leadership. Another possible contender is Wes Streeting, the Shadow Health Secretary, who has earned a reputation as a pragmatic reformer. Despite this, he has yet to build broad support within the party, and his ability to unite various factions of Labour remains uncertain. Lisa Nandy, a strong leadership figure, is also being mentioned as a potential replacement. She has focused much of her political career on reconnecting with Labour's traditional voter base, particularly in the north of England, which has seen a significant decline in Labour support in recent years. However, her leadership qualities will be tested in the face of the growing political crisis. Lastly, Yvette Cooper, a seasoned political veteran, is another potential leadership contender. Known for her experience and calm approach, Cooper could bring stability to the party during this tumultuous period. However, she may struggle to win over younger and more progressive voters, who could view her as too closely associated with the party's past. For now, however, all eyes are on how Starmer will respond to this mounting crisis. Will he fight tooth and nail to stay in power, or will he succumb to the growing pressure and resign? His decision in the coming days will not only determine his own political fate but also the future of the Labour Party itself. Final thoughts: is this the end for Keir Starmer? British politics is no stranger to scandal, but the Supreme Court ruling against Keir Starmer represents one of the most dramatic moments in recent political history. The combination of legal troubles, policy failures, and collapsing public trust has pushed Starmer's leadership to the brink. His rise to power was built on promises of stability, integrity, and a break from the chaos of the Conservative years. Yet, just months later, he finds himself at the center of a political maelstrom, facing open rebellion from within his own party and mounting calls for his resignation. Will Starmer survive this crisis, or is Britain about to witness yet another dramatic downfall in its political landscape? The coming weeks will reveal whether Starmer can cling to power or if he will be forced to step aside in a humiliating political defeat. One thing is certain: the political future of Keir Starmer and the Labour Party is now hanging in the balance, and this story is far from over. Stay tuned, as the fallout from this dramatic turn of events continues to unfold.